My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live in association with the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel did tell us this morning that it was going to be fine at the start, that there would be thunderstorms afterwards. We were hoping the game would get over before that. There was too much lightning around, and it's very unlikely there'll be any more play in this game. So there we are. Aakash Chopra is here. So is Joy Bhattacharjya. It's now officially been called off, right? We're hearing it's now officially been called off. The good news as a result is that neither of you qualify for the expert couch.
It still says India won by 22 runs. So one of you should actually decide who was closer and then take it away.
If it's 22 runs, you were at 15 and I was at 20 or whatever. No, you were close to it.
I think I said
you
22.
You made it. You said 22 actually.
Oh, I think I said 22. Where those two cricket balls?
You said 22.
No, but that was not a DLS adjusted score, so it's okay. So that's formally the end of the US leg of the tour. We got two matches, same surface. Did we get good cricket in the US? Because part of the objective also was, let's take cricket to the US. Let's play formal T20 internationals, an ICC approved ground in Florida. Did we get good cricket?
We did not. And you can get good cricket only if the 22 yards are good enough to produce good cricket. And that's essential. It's mandatory for a T20 format game that the pitch is at least 150, 160 kinds.
Well, to be fair, we got 167 today. The
This
first
time,
game was
yes.
poor.
So first game was poor. Second game was slightly better. But then we didn't get to the end. So in the end, DLS... It just still leaves you with the feeling of something unfulfilled. So we don't know where it would have gone. Yes, DLS would tell you that India won this game by 22 runs or whatever that is. But there was still Kieron Pollard unbeaten, Carlos Brathwaite. Could they have actually made a match of it and achieved an improbable result? So we wouldn't find that. And therefore I say, no, I did not enjoy my cricket in the last two games in Florida, so perhaps better days are waiting for us in Guyana.
Well, if you want to be a little kind, the curator was probably struggling with the amount of rain there was. The pitches were under cover. There was a little bit of bright sunshine today. There's again trouble. Hopefully more cricket there as well. But the game itself today, from India's point of view, in two parts really. Rohit Sharma up at the top, and that burst at the end. But in between, batting was tough.
Yeah, batting was not easy at all, and the only people who made it look easy was Rohit Sharma against everyone, and to a certain extent Rovman Powell against our fast bowlers. When our spinners came on again, he was struggling, but Rovman Powell showed why he was coveted by IPL teams for a while. Again, part of that on-off, nature of West Indian cricket, where they're brilliant on some days and then don't turn up for some other days. But the interesting thing is, I believe that this cricket in US, no matter how many times, whether the games are good or not, they'll continue. Because I think now the West Indies recognize that there's a huge Indian population sitting in the US. And if they can tap into that and somehow bring them into the West Indian fold, I think the results are going to be good for them.
Yeah, and the proper T20 internationals, not festival games played on baseball grounds, which are played on sandy surfaces. So once the ball hits the surface, it falls in love with it and stays there.
Exactly.
But this was slightly different. On the West Indies reply as well. First 4 overs, nine runs in the first 4 overs. And then they seem to like the extra pace from Saini and Khalil. Completely different day for young Saini.
Yes, and he'll find out as he plays more that there will be good days. There will be pretty bad days as well. And T20 format, well, that's the nature of the beast. And personally, I still feel that he's work in progress. He was impressive in the first game that he played. He was outstanding, actually. 2 wickets in the first over, made in last over. Couldn't have asked for a better return from his first outing. But the more he plays, the better he will get. And eventually, I said that earlier, I'll say that again, that I want to see him in white clothing, red ball. That's where he belongs. One-day cricket, T20 cricket, white ball cricket will take care of itself. I think he's cut out to play longer format, 15, 20, 25 overs a day. He'll be a banker.
Yeah, to be fair, on the Hindi blog that we did yesterday, Zahir did mention that he needs to perfect that Yorker. The Yorker goes a little too full sometimes. Get the slow ball in, loads of promise, but still work in progress. So that was the story of Navdeep Saini across 2 days of these two games from Florida. Now, who was our my 11th Circle MVP? We look at all the points, of course, and it could only be one person. He's Rohit Sharma, 67 of 51 balls. Joy, you're mentioning briefly that while he was in, he seemed to take pitch out of the surface, out of the calculation. What? First 6 overs, you have 52 runs. Yeah. So he seemed to take the pitch out of the equation.
Yeah, just simply he's a different class of cricketer, and when he gets going, he gives you that. And it's very, very difficult to judge any surface by when Rohit Sharma is batting, because when other batsmen come in, then you say, okay, this is what the pitch really is. This is not the real pitch. Rohit Sharma shows you fantasies that nobody else does on these pitches.
I mean, just looking now, they put on 67. He got out of when 115 had been made. Shikhar on the other end, Shikhar Dhawan 23 of 16. I wonder how much cricket he played post the World Cup. How many knocks did he have? Because he looked a little rusty yesterday. Even today, he got some in, so it's just starting to play himself in.
And the big worry, it's still not a worry actually, I used a big worry, but the fact is that if you get dismissed on 2 occasions playing the identical shot, then there is something that you would want to address, because pattern is something that no batsman likes when it comes to dismissals. He did look rusty and he hasn't played much. Let's be fair, he was in the NCA.
He doesn't have a lot of cricket either, Aakash. He's not in the test side.
Correct. So he'll have to do whatever he has to do in the next 4 games. The good thing is that he will play all 4 games. Correct. And therefore he has these opportunities, but it's not going to be easy any which way. And Shikhar Dhawan is, the last 16-18 months have been quite strange when you look at Shikhar Dhawan. There are good days, but there are lots of bad days as well. I remember Australia coming home, he played the T20Is and the one-dayers. Till that century in Mohali, we all were wondering what's happening with Shikhar Dhawan. Will he be all right come the World Cup? He did all right, then he got injured. So it's been, he's seen a few highs, but a lot of lows in the last 18 months. And looking ahead, see Shikhar Dhawan scoring runs, I personally am still not 100% convinced. When you talk about World T20 next year, is Shikhar Dhawan Rohit Sharma's partner in the shortest format? Currently, you will say yes, but it's not a thumping yes. I would still want to see how he actually goes from here in the next 8-10 months.
It is a valid point. Do India play T20 cricket, or do India play a shortened 50-over game in T20?
Yeah.
Game? Let's look at the players who are in this T20 side who are not going to be in the 50-over game. So, in the T20 squad, India go from here now to Guyana, just the one game before you go before you play the one-dayers. Now, who doesn't go there? Deepak Chahar, Krunal Pandya, Rahul Chahar. So, and Washington Sundar. Have you seen enough of Krunal Pandya and Washington Sundar to make out whether they are ready to be strong contenders for the T20 World Cup?
I think, look, Krunal Pandya is going to be a contender. He would have been a stronger contender had this tournament been played in India on surfaces more amicable to him. But I think he's a contender, and I think it's time also that I think we need to give Washington Sundar again. I tend to believe what he says, that he's a transplanted batsman, so he was going to give you overs, but to expect Washington Sundar to give you 4 consistent overs, I don't think he's made a case for that. I think he's made a case for being a really useful cricketer, but I don't think he's still a 4-over bowler in the highest form of T20 cricket.
I mean, I'm just looking down his figures today. Yesterday, he bowled 1 good over, was expensive in 1. 3 overs, 1 for 12 today. 2 very good overs, because I think the pitch was his friend today.
That's the thing, and a lot of left-handers to bowl too as well. Yeah. So that is why he was actually preferred over Rahul Chahar, because that's the only form of cricket that he's likely to play, Rahul Chahar. But Washington Sundar, he did well, limited opportunities. He may actually play the last game as well, and you would want to play them. Anybody who's actually coming back home after this T20 series is over should get a game, which basically means that Chahar brothers should also be playing. You spoke about Washington Sundar. I'm slightly unconvinced when it comes to Washington Sundar longevity, T20 format. He'll give you a few overs, but he's not a rank turner. He's not a dependable, bankable 4-over bowler. And he's not a slogger. He's someone who actually bats higher up the order, and there is no place for anybody who can actually bat higher up the order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are already occupied. So is Washington Sundar a finisher? If he's not, then you have to look elsewhere. A finger spinner, off spinner in T20 format for a bowler like him, well done for the 2 games. But World T20, I think there's a lot of miles to be covered still.
With Krunal Pandya, I think it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a classical left-arm spinner who's bowling that line, turning it away, no. But I think he's a very savvy T20 bowler. He'll bowl quickly. He bowled a lot of that rather than this. Bowled the wide Yorker. So I think he's in his blood. He's a T20 cricketer.
Yeah, I think. But I remember he's very similar. Actually, I feel to even, not in terms of technique, but in terms of how he approaches the game, to Jadeja. Both of these guys, play above their talent. They're savvy cricketers. They'll come in on occasion. They're smart guys. They're not always the best bowlers or the best turners of the ball, but they know how to make things happen. I think at some point in time next year, you're going to see these two clashing for that one position out there, which is that spin bowling all-rounder position. These two right now look like your early candidates.
And you're looking at, when you look at Krunal Pandya, he's not your fifth bowler, he's your sixth bowler. So a group of six bowlers, Krunal Pandya will fit in, Ravindra Jadeja will also fit in, Hardik Pandya will also be there as a batsman who can bowl a few overs. So when you put all of them together, it's a wonderful 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. And they're decent fielders, all three.
Yeah. What are you won't play wristies at all there? Because I don't know if India have discovered anything new, because India didn't pick the wrist spinners for this.
That's the thing. So you can actually go by what you've seen so far, and therefore Krunal Pandya is a smart cricketer, and that's what you will get from him. In fact, today when we spoke about the MVP, we spoke about Rohit Sharma. I think Krunal Pandya is an equally dependable, or rather go-to candidate for that.
Yeah.
Because 2 wickets, 3.5 overs.
I mean,
20 runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
to be fair, it wasn't a man of the match, but it was
I know points. But in terms of the quality or the impact of that little knock, 2 sixes in the last over, 20 runs, minus those 20 runs, this
the Duckworth would have been different.
DLS could have been different. 2 wickets in the middle overs, once again turned the tide in favour of India. If he hadn't taken wickets, if he had gone for runs, because Nicholas Pooran is a left-hander, he was kept quiet. 19 runs, 34 balls, and he bowled a lot to Nicholas Pooran. And where Jadeja was actually, or rather, Krunal Pandya was preferred over Jadeja to bowl to a left-hander. So it tells you that Krunal Pandya is slightly inching ahead in that race, as far as I'm concerned.
Time to take a look at our My 11 expert beat the champion, and let's My 11 circle beat the expert champion. So let's see who got there. Om Prakash Kumar. I think he's been on this program before. 312 points. Well done, Om Prakash. Remember, your target is Tufan. Remember, so try and get to Tufan. Joy, one other interesting fallout of today's defeat for the West Indies is they were 2 times World T20 champions. They've been finalists as well. And yet today they've now joined Sri Lanka, I think, as the team that's lost, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, team that lost the maximum number of T20 internationals. So which is the West Indies T20 team? Is it the team that turns up at the World T20s and does well? Or is it the team that turns up and pretends to be a world class?
Or is it the team that has 2 of their top players playing about 6,000-7,000 kilometers north in the Canadian Premier League?
Andre Russell is playing a game in Canada. Chris Gayle played a game the other day. Andre Russell announced that he's unfit and took the field a little after. So they've got to figure out. My feeling is, come the World T20, West Indies become a good side. Take the World T20 away and no one's interested.
Yeah, no one's interested. And look, I think they're being pragmatic about it, but I think the other problem is, if you are basically 5 different nations, it's very difficult for a board to take a stand. Because finally, you have so many constituencies that you have to keep happy. Jamaica has a different constituency, Guyana has a different rule, Trinidad and Tobago and going in a different direction. So keeping all these guys happy and being strict is not easy, because they'll say, oh, you're penalizing my player, but you're letting that player go. It's a very difficult call to make.
How do you tell the West Indies fans that Chris Gayle is actually batting just now? Andre Russell didn't bowl, but he's due to come into bat at a later stage, but they will not play for the West Indies. But that's the story of West Indies cricket. They'll have to find a solution for it. But the end result is that India go 2-0 up, just 3 games. Both the games in the West Indies won easily by India on a Duckworth-Lewis. 22 runs is a lot of runs. So there you are. Now we've got 1 more game to go. At rest tomorrow. It's a travel day, not a huge travel day. You pop across from Florida, across the sea, and you go into mainland South America to play in Guyana. And exactly what I asked you at the end of the first one. Do they make any changes now?
They should now. If they don't now, I'll be very disappointed, because Rahul Chahar, Deepak Chahar, they've travelled the world to be there. They haven't featured in the first 2 games, and that's the problem. When you playing only a three game series, you can only make a change either after winning the series, or somebody has done really
So maybe
poorly.
Bhuvneshwar is in the 50 over side. So let Deepak Chahar come in for Bhuvneshwar?
Yes, definitely. And Jadeja just makes way for Rahul Chahar.
Rahul Chahar.
Play a batsman less is fine. You're not losing this series.
And Shreyas Iyer is your number 4 for the ODIs? Or?
Correct. You get Shreyas Iyer in. I think he needs to get games in the ODIs. He still has 3 more opportunities after that. But I think the bowlers definitely have to be given a chance. And this is the best chance that they can have. I mean, being 2-0 up and having nothing to really lose in this series, this is their opportunity.
And I'm assuming completely different playing conditions back in Guyana.
There should be actually. So proper grounds with a lot of cricket being already played. Weather will be hopefully a little more kind to us, and good game of cricket is you want from the West Indies. Opening has been an issue. In both the games. Today, the pitch wasn't as moist as we saw in the first game yesterday. So expected a slightly better approach. Sunil Narayan, you know what you're getting from him, but Evan Lewis, he's been a disappointment.
I mean, Evan Lewis, I saw him score 100 in the West Indies. You saw him score 100 in Florida. Last time the games were played over there. Got 100 against India and Jamaica. Just looked a fantastic player. Hit and miss for Mumbai Indians and lost his place for the Mumbai Indians. Then came in and played at number 3. But that's a career that currently is going nowhere. So maybe they'll want to look at that opening slot again.
Yeah, see, it's basically, I'll tell you, I mean, you look at it from one side, I say it's a wrong time of the year for the West Indies. The best time of the year for the West Indies cricketers to really play well is 15 days before an IPL auction. That's when you'll see them in form. This is not, they're not motivated enough.
Well, the problem is that you've started exposing your punchlines with a poker face. The moment there's a poker face, I know there's a punchline coming. No, but
it's the wrong time of the season.
But there's trades going on. There's an auction on. You play against India. You
play against India.
well
Definitely,
against
they
India.
have more incentive to perform against India than anybody else because that's where there's a much more likelihood of them getting the attention.
You see them making changes, the West Indies. Some they have to do something to the top order.
You'll have to just have a look at who all are available. So John Campbell played the first game. He did not play this one. Even if you were to change, what are the things that you can actually change? Pair played this game, didn't finish his quota of overs. You've got Sunil Narayan. There's not much that you can actually change and hope that things are going to suddenly turn rosy. They won't. One thing is for sure that if Carlos Brathwaite is playing as a captain, can't be batting at 7. If he's batting at 7 and bowls one expensive over, then this team has given the leadership to the wrong guy.
It's interesting that Carlos Brathwaite is playing the role that you have for your floater in the side. When you make a team of 10 and have a dangerous floater, he can't be captain. Well, there you are. So that was it. 2 games in Florida, India leading 2-0. Now remember, as we head to Guyana, you can be part of the My 11 Circle the game as well. That's how you can play it. Go to my11circle.com. We've been telling you how to go about this game for a while now. Download the app if you haven't already and select a match, create your own team and get in and start playing. We've got the original founder of fantasy cricket in our studio. Will tell you just how much fun it is and how you really get into the game when you've picked your own team and you're following the fortunes of the players that you've got, quite apart from wanting to follow India as well. So that's about My 11 Circle. Now, what about the weather? We're heading across to mainland South America as well. Remember, this comes to you in association with the Weather Channel. Georgetown, the forecast for the 6th.
The chance of rain is all right, Harsha, so it's okay.
Scattered. Chance of rain 40%. Scattered thunderstorms. Scattered thunderstorms. Scattered thunderstorms. But as Ashish...
Okay. Nehra is in Florida. Aakash Chopra is in the studio.
As Aakash says, you look at 40, 20 and 15. So it's the most downloaded weather app in the world. So that's what they're telling us. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Aakash Chopra, thank you very much. Joy Bhattacharjya, thank you very much. We'll see you on the 6th for the games that start in Guyana. We're not done yet. Joy, what's the answer? We had the Joy factor.
Yeah.
We had the Joy factor.
I was wondering.
Ejaz Chima.
Ejaz Chima.
Ezaz, isn't it?
Ezaz Chima, actually.
Ezaz
What has he
Chima.
done? So let's take a look
was
at
it
the question.
Tino Johanan? Was it Srishant? What curious test record does Ezaz Chima hold?
So take a look at it. It was Tino Johanan, and the fact is that he's played 7 test matches in 5 innings, and he's never got out in a test match.
Wow.
So he has a record for playing the maximum test matches but never getting dismissed.
And Tino Johanan has never been dismissed in a test match. Oh,
Never been
there you are. I'm
dismissed.
imagining headlines in Kerala tomorrow. Kerala boy never dismissed in
Sachin
test match.
Tendulkar keeps getting out. That's Sachin, yaar. What is that guy all about?
I mean, what did Aakash Chopra do? I mean,
Yeah, I got out so many times actually. I never remained unbeaten in my test career. 18 innings. That's the point.
There should have been a fast bowler.
I know.
Right, so there you are. That indeed was the answer. Did anyone get it right? Let's figure out. They always do get it right. And this is Siddhant Khajuria. He's been winning the past as well at Sid RK27. Well done, Siddhant Khajuria. Got a thumbs up from Joy as well. You got a good one for us for the Guyana game?
Yeah, nice one.
Sorted?
Yeah, I'm sorted.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, Zahir Khan will join us that day in Guyana as well, for the game from Guyana. Join us in our studio here. So that's what we've got for you today on My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live in association with the Weather Channel. We'll join you on the 6th. Till then, it's goodbye.